That is a cool shot right there. Hen turkeys walking by, elk laying down outside of the yard. There's a pretty good bunch of turkeys walked across there. Oh, there's another elk laying over there. I didn't see that one. It's a pretty good little bunch of turkeys walking across. They were walking out in the yard, and I walked out here and actually videoed a little while and looked down, and I didn't have the camera turned on. It's a good thing I don't try to make a living shooting camera, isn't it? Because I sure could never do that. But yeah, that's beautiful right there. The elk laying out there in the yard. Oh, and if I look up over the hill and raise up over that way, quit looking through the camera and just start looking around, there's another big, beautiful elk way up there. The bottom one there is a rock. It's a rock there. It's not a back of an elk. Looks like could be the back of an elk. That's a rock. But now up there on the hillside, that is an elk there, definitely. And there goes all the 7 hen turkeys walking through the woods. That is just gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Step back over here. Cow elk. And a look at the lake. Back off just a little bit where you can get the clouds. Beautiful clouds. Thunder and lightning and carrying on, and the storm went around without dropping nary a drop of rain. But it'll rain. I know it will, because I've been praying for it. In case you didn't get a good close look at Forrest's antlers in the antlers video, there's a good close look right there for sure. One of the great things about having deer, look at that, that's a little bit of a burnt grilled cheese sandwich right there that one deer is eating on. But look at this right here. Isn't this something? These are wild turkeys. These are not tame turkeys. These are wild turkeys. Big gobblers in full strut there. Look at that guy in full strut right there. They've been strutting out here. I don't know what caused it. One of those hens must have been talking dirty or something. You can look over there and see great big giant thundercloud, and look how big that deer is. 300-pound deer. Huge, an old guy. He's getting older. He's walking around, but we had some potato peels here from potatoes that we peeled. We had some tops of grapes, the stems, not grapes, but strawberries. We made strawberries. We got those thrown down there. Potato peels. Some bread from, oh, Lot 6 there. You and your funny looking horns. Yeah. So we got just, look at that's a beautiful, gosh, that deer's pretty right back there, isn't he? He's like Forrest, same age as Forrest. He is a pretty son of a gun. I think that's him. Has that deer even got a tag? Yeah, he's got a tag. He's right here. White tag, just like Forrest. Same age as Forrest. He's got big old horns just like Forrest. Forrest a little bit bigger than he is. And the turkeys scattered just all over out there. Just really, really cool. What can I say? Just extra special. Nice. Yes. Took a little peek around to see what else is around, and not much is around. There's Molly right there. Molly jumped out there in the yard and looking around. Molly's really looking healthy, and I think she's growing some. I'm telling you, I think she looks awful good size right there by herself, and very fat and healthy. She doesn't look quite so big when she's around all the big boys that she likes to run around with. When we look over here around the feeder, we see there's only one deer over there, but there's a big wad of turkeys over there. Yeah, don't know where everybody is this evening. There've been some deer around here. Surprised that Molly doesn't go over there and get involved with those babies and eat some of that food. But so far she hasn't. She probably will. You know, Snoopy, that's how Snoopy got his name. When we were feeding Lucy and Milburn, Snoopy would slip up there, snoop, 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 and get over there and get his nose in there and get some of their food. And he got to be pretty regular at it, and he really tamed down quite a bit, and he's turned into a really handsome man. But that's a nice little bunch of turkeys over there. I don't see any of the gobblers. Those are all hens. How do we see over there? 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Counting that one off to the left. 9. I don't know if there's any behind the feeder, but I can see 9 right there. It's a nice little bunch of turkeys. We've got several little wads of turkeys around. Of course, in the wintertime, and it's not wintertime yet, but they are beginning to bunch up in groups of hens and groups of gobblers. I have seen in Kansas as many as 300 turkeys in one bunch. One day I saw 3 different bunches like that in a 2-mile stretch. And they're not like that in that area now, but one of the things that happens when you get lots and lots of turkeys in the area, they will eventually get some disease and it'll kill a lot of them off, and it takes a while to get them back. But they are gathering up together, the gobblers together and the hens together right now. And that's what we got right here. Now those could be a mom and some chicks too, no doubt about that. And but they're all relatively the same size, but if you look at their heads, it looks like that some of them look like they're chicks and not that old. It is very windy out here this evening, and getting ready to let the babies out. Got Chris out here. Chris has got a nice little bowl of food. Got carrots and apples and grapes and a little bread in there. So, Boomer Sooner, honey, you got your OU shirt on. You wore to church today.
Yeah, this morning.
Yeah, this morning, yeah. It's really windy. I know we got a lot of wind noise in there. Just bear with me. I brought new wires and hooked up to my little Comica mics. And Comica sells a lot of mics, and they're not very expensive. They're $100, a couple $100, something like that. But they sure should have a lot better wires on them for that kind of money. The microphones, I think, are good, but the wires are just bad. I bought new wires, and the new wires cost like $20, $30 for a little piece of wire. It's kind of crazy. And they don't work. What do you say there, wild child? What do you say, little whitey? Y'all ready? Come on over here. Let's get this door up. I'm trying to block the wind with my body and my hand as much as possible. So I don't know how it sounds. I'll listen to it here in a minute. Come on, guys. Come on out here. Okay. Now I'll get over here and get with Chris. Chris has got, hi, baby. Hi, buddy. Hi there. Hi there. Hey, wild child. Hey, girl. How you doing, baby doll? Y'all notice these two come out. Little Whitey gets right over there. Wild child, she jumps up there because she knows that Chris has got the food. They have learned that real quickly, that Chris is their buddy and that Chris has got food. And they're getting after it. And I can't even look into the camera as I tell you this. You notice that we only have 2 babies there. It's a sad deal. But we lost little Lucille. I don't know if I'll ever name another deer Lucille. I loved that little deer. I loved all 3 of the babies, you know that. But little Lucille was so tiny, and she was so beautiful on her face and her loving eyes. And she was just absolutely perfect that evening, and just, you know, a couple evenings ago. Absolutely perfect and in great shape, and she ate a bunch, and we fed them a big bowl, and that was probably might have been my fault. I feel terribly guilty about Lucille dying. You know, I had a big bowl there, and maybe she was so tiny, and you know, she had some problems with internal bleeding when we found her, and saved her life, covered in ants, about to die, and we saved her. And unfortunately, we only saved her for a couple of months, it looked like, but we thought she was going to grow up and be just my little precious baby. But early in the morning, and I was with her about 10 o'clock at night, went in and loved on all of them a while, and they finally laid down, and she was just perfect. And the next morning, she was just laying there, and her belly was bloated, and we rubbed her bottom, have her go to the bathroom, and she was peeing, but something had stopped up inside of her, and we just worked with her. She lived all day and until the next morning, and then never did make it. And just a sad, just heartbreaking to me. And I feel so responsible, and I really debated about giving these guys here some food to eat here. I don't know if she swallowed a grape whole and got something plugged up inside of her, or if she, you know, whatever was hurt before and was bleeding internally that healed, if that ruptured again because she just ate too much, maybe. You know, they drank a lot of milk afterwards, and maybe a carrot, she didn't chew it up good. You see them chewing that stuff up. Maybe she just swallowed a grape accidentally or something. I don't have any idea, but it is so sad, and I'm just heartbroken. That's just all there is to it. And you know, of all the deer we have die, we lose every one of them. Those of you that have had pets, whether it's a dog or a cat or a parakeet or a goldfish, it doesn't matter. A parrot, you know, Pat Turner and Jody have had a parrot for like 30 or 40 years. I don't know. They've had that parrot for a long time. I can't remember how many years they've had it. And they're going to be really, really sad when something happens to that parrot. And it's almost as old as they are. But it doesn't matter. You get attached to them. You love them just like they're a part of. They are a part of the family. They're not just like they're a part of the family. They are a part of the family. You see how windy it is. Chris's hair is blowing like crazy. And I got chopped up apples. I chopped things a little bit smaller. Chopped those little carrots into 3 pieces instead of 2. But you can see how they're chewing them up. Now Lucille did the same thing. And I don't know. It may not have had anything to do with it. I hope it didn't. It may just been something that was going to happen no matter what. And once that happened, she just couldn't make it. And we gave her medicine, gave her a couple of shots, and the shots probably kept her alive a little bit longer than she would have. But we've lost Lucille, and we will have opportunities in the future, maybe next spring, to get another little Lucille. We've got a neighbor Sue or George or something. You know, I don't know, but anyway, we got a pretty little girl here, Wild Child, and a pretty little boy, little Whitey, and hopefully we can get them up to adulthood. And you know, Lucille would have not have made it but another day or two, and had we not taken her. And so she got to live a little life, a charmed life. I mean, she was loved, and she was not only loved, she was taken care of really, really well. But it makes me really sad. So, but let's go on and get on some fun, happy parts of this video. And this is a happy part right here. Those are 2 beautiful little babies right there. Chris, what do you think? Chris has been sick and coughing and fever, but now, how do you feel now, baby?
I feel good.
You feel good. You know why you feel good? Because you had those 2 babies eating out of your lap. You think that makes you feel better?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. She's having coughing, but she can't seem to cough, and she got a lot of congestion in her throat. No congestion in her chest, it just seems to be in her throat. Theraflu seems to help, and I'm going to give her some more of that here in just a little bit. But I got some bottles of milk to feed them, but I'm not going to let them just go crazy like they do. They're eating a pretty good little bunch of food right there, but I'm going to feed off the grass. And I know you got a lot of wind noise in this. I apologize for that. I'm trying to get those microphone cords to work. I bought several, and I shot a video with them, and nothing. No audio, period. So just have to put up a little noise this week, and we'll try to get it figured out and get it right. Look at everything they're dropping on the ground. Look at all that they're dropping on the ground. Forrest will be over here getting into that, I guarantee you. They're about to clean it up, aren't they, baby?
No.
Yeah, there's still quite a bit left in there. Well, those will be our babies right now, since little Lucille is... I wonder if she's playing with Lucy, saying, you know, your boss loved you a lot. He still misses you. Name me Lucille just because of you. A quick look over there at Prince Charming. He's getting bigger every week, it seems like. I don't think his horns have stopped growing at all. I think his antlers are getting bigger. Don't know where the babies have got off to. They ran over there around where the white deer are, and I guess they're back toward the back of that enclosure. I'm not sure. Apache told me that he let Wild Child and Whitey out while I was gone to the Bigfoot Festival, and Whitey came right back, but Wild Child didn't, and Wild Child was gone out running around all day. But he was scared to death that she had run off. She actually was running around with the big deer, with the bucks and with Molly. Oh, there's one right there. Ah, there we go. That is that's little Whitey, and back behind, and Lucille, not Lucille, I keep thinking about Lucille. Wild Child up in the front, and all the big boys there. I emptied out the contents of what they didn't eat that Chris was feeding them. Throwed it out there, and the big deer got it. And you see Forrest, he's still looking around for grapes or a piece of bread or a carrot or whatever. He'd take any handout he can get. I have hooked this microphone up direct to try to improve this audio a little bit. But when I did this the other day, I shot 3 or 4 videos, and there was absolutely no sound at all. It was just nothing there. So hopefully you're hearing what I'm saying. I'm getting ready to play it back and find out as we watch them mess around right there. It's getting close to dark, and usually when that happens, this iPhone for some reason shuts itself off. It'll lose focus and go to bad focus and shut itself off. I ran it up on 4K, just run a little bit on 4K and see how that might work. But we'll see how that handles that. But All of the deer are kind of wandering off. You look off out there, you can see deer out there a long way. I'm going to zoom out there a little bit. It might shut the machine off here because of the focus. You can see how bright and clear it got right there, and it was kind of fuzzy and brightened up. But the little babies are feeding up around the house. There's little wild child right by the albino pen. There's some deer out there, and there's Whitey eating grass. They've eaten a bunch of food here. Chris is giving them a lot of food, and get that thing sitting on that tripod. It's pretty unlevel. I'll put it up on a monopod position here and see if I can keep this thing rolling. I had a big bunch of turkeys here in the yard a minute ago, but I got a couple telephone calls, and so we took the telephone calls and instead of videoing the deer like I probably should have been doing. But we got plenty of time to get more video, I think. They come around pretty often. You can see big forest out there. Over there somewhere is TC's back behind that tree. Barely see those antlers sticking around on both sides. That's a pretty good sized deer when you see antlers sticking out of both sides of a big tree like that. Big, beautiful buck he is, and he's getting on up there in years, so I don't know how much longer he's going to last. I would like to see him get through one more rut, be able to have a few more forests running around the property, and he definitely is responsible for several. I'm pretty sure of that. As you get toward the evening and light gets a little suspect, video even on an iPhone gets pretty suspect. These cameras are just incredible on these phones nowadays. But even at that, they're not perfect. And when they're rolling all the automatic focus and doing it, they get fooled. This changing light. I was talking on the phone to a couple of buddies of mine. I'd like to have got the videos of all those turkeys out there because that was really something, and all the deer. And see, Ot 6 is kind of trying to wander back in way off out there. And the deer did a few zoomies there too, bucking around, and I missed those. Now they're just settling down as we get here toward evening. Feeding on the grass, feeding on the leaves. In general, just having a good time. I'm going to feed them a little milk before I put them up, but letting them stay out just as long as I possibly can. And wild child, Apache let her out the other day, was out most of the day, so she might be a little bit more difficult to get back in. I don't know. How about that, wild child? You going to be difficult? You better not be. I have milk.